Space Marine Librarian in Terminator Armour. So the guy right here, and here you can see some tools that I will be using. So we have a wet palette, we have our water cup as well to thin down the paint, and then in order to paint this guy we have this contour blue base. As I have already painted this guy with the ultramarine blue undercoat, but yeah, this guy should be painted with a little bit darker blue color, therefore I ordered this contour blue. And yeah, we are going to apply a base coat on our librarian, and maybe if we have time left we will apply some armor details with the Abaddon black. Alright, so that's a little bit of introduction, so let's jump into the topic. Okay guys, as you can see here I've changed my setup a little bit, so you can have a better view on what I'm painting and also how I'm painting. So basically right now you can see it from pretty much my perspective. The camera is a little bit in the view of my eyes, so I have to look at it in a bit of an angle, but it's fine. I have pretty good visibility on the miniature itself, so I believe we can continue like this. And to paint this guy I'm going to use this Citadel from the starter set, Citadel brush from the starter set. It's a little bit used already, but for applying just base layer, this brush is I think completely fine. And then we have our contour blue, so before we open it, let's give it a good shake. Alright. There we go. Very nice paint. It's important to, water down your paint a little bit so it doesn't really, get too much on your miniature, so you can see the details that you have already actually applied. Alright, let's try with the first layer. Yeah, so as you can see, the color is actually a bit different than the ultramarine blue. Well, for some reason my camera is losing focus, not sure if because of the object in the back or yeah. Let's continue. I'm not sure if you can actually see the difference difference in the color. Yeah, there are parts like, you know, the purity seals and these tubes. These are going to be repainted, so I don't really have to focus that much on covering them with counter blue right now. It's actually a little bit hard for me to paint like that in this position when the camera is in front of me and I have to do sort of a side look on the miniature and paint like this. Yeah, it's a little bit strange, but okay, let's try to continue. I believe this battle axe is also going to be covered in different color, so maybe there is no point to paint it as well with counter blue, but okay. I mean, such a great idea for a video, repainting blue miniature with another blue color. It's quite fun, actually. You cannot probably see the difference, because yeah, in fact there is not much of a difference, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's continue. picture is actually, you know, quite detailed, and it will require quite some work to complete. But yeah, I like this kind of challenges, to be honest. For instance, I am almost done with painting Captain in Terminator Armour, and yeah, hopefully soon I will be able to share the results with you. So I unfortunately haven't recorded the whole process. I mean, I wanted to treat it sort of as you know, just my own project that I can work on my let's say own pace without any stresses of, you know, having to record, setting up everything and stuff like that. So just wanted this this miniature for my own, just to paint it myself and also have fun with it, just for myself. And yeah, I must admit that I've enjoyed it a lot, and it was great miniature to paint. Also contained quite some details that gave me a headache sometimes. But yeah, it's almost done. I just have to apply the highlights, and for sure in one of next videos you're going to see the results of that painting. And who knows, maybe at some point I can get another Captain in Terminator Armour, and we can also record the painting process. I think it could be quite interesting. Also, I have already some experience painting this guy, so yeah, definitely a nice idea for some future videos. So the bolter on his hand right here is going to be repainted as well, so maybe there's no point of painting it with Canter blue as well. But for sure his hand, so his hand is doing some gestures. I'm not sure how to exactly pronunciate this word, but yeah, he's trying to use his psychic powers. This pose is telling that for sure. And yeah, it would be nice to add some effects and highlights here as well on his hand, like he's trying to do some you know, fire strike, or maybe I don't know, like lightning strike or something like this. I mean, this sign or amulet here is also going to be repainted, but yeah, let's just cover it with one layer of Canter blue. Now a little bit of his fingers. let's move on to the lower part of the body, because I believe we are spending a bit too much time here on the top of it. Let's also cover the axe with at least one layer of counter blue. Alright, so the higher parts, I think we have more or less painted. We are going to apply second layer for sure, but let's continue with the first layer to the bottom of the miniature here. This, not sure what this is, it's a bag or some sort of a box for some, I don't know, or some books or stuff like that. But this is also going to be repainted for some brownish color or leather-like color, so I think there is no need to cover it with counter blue as well. if we have such a small details like this on the armor, shin armor here, yeah, it's important to thin down your paint so it doesn't ruin these very small little details, because these are going to be filled and painted later on to create sort of a glow effect that his armor is being powered, or stuff like that. So yeah, just a small tip. Alright, I think we are more or less complete with applying first layer, so I will let this okay guys, now it's time to apply the second layer of Cantor Black. So let's begin with the top of the miniature. Well, I'm a little bit afraid that 2 layers will not be enough, and a third layer will also be required, which is a bit strange because we are just applying blue on a blue. Yeah, but maybe I'm just too inexperienced with that stuff. But yeah, let's continue and let's finish this layer and let's see how it looks like overall. And then, yeah, we will give it a verdict if it needs a third layer or not. During the Great Crusade, after the triumph on Ulanor, I believe, the Emperor himself ordered the dissolution of all psychic divisions within the legions. He was deeply aware of the dangers of the warp, and psychic power was seen as too great a risk. This suspicion culminated in the Council of Nicaea, a great assembly called by the Emperor to decide the ultimate fate of the Librarians. During the council, some pro-psyker Primarchs. It was Magnus the Red, along with Sanguinius and Jagdai Khan, who proposed the original Librarian program to the Emperor. They saw it as a necessary way to control the spontaneous development of the psychic abilities among the Space Marines. They also had some opponents, most notably Leman Russ and Mortarion. So they argued against them, seeing all psychic power as sorcery and a taint of chaos. Ultimately, the Emperor sided with the anti-psyker faction, and the Librarians were officially disbanded. So, was it a good decision or a bad decision? I think this decision had tragical consequences, because it paved the way for the horrors that were to come during the Horus Heresy, and also how the Thousand Sons were, destroyed by Leman Russ and his wolves. However, following the Horus Heresy and the splitting of the legions, Rabut Guliman recognized that to fight the forces of chaos, the Loyalists absolutely needed their own psychic shield. He formally re-established the Librarius within the Codex Astartes. The Librarian is much more than a battle psyker. They are also record keepers. So they are guardians of the Librarian, the chapters of vast repository of lore, history and secret knowledge. This is where their name truly comes from. They are also navigators and communicators. So off-world they use their powers for astropathic communication and for screening potential recruits for psychic ability. So the hood that librarians are usually wearing, is actually not just a normal hood, it's a psychic hood. So this device, which looks like a simple collar, is built with psychically nullifying crystals. It acts as both an amplifier for the librarian's own powers and a defensive mechanism, giving them warning and protection against the psychic assaults of their enemies. They also usually wield a force war's weapon, an axe or sword, is not merely sharp, it is a dent to the librarian's mind. They channel their raw psychic energy through the weapon, making it capable of severing not just flesh and bone, but the very spirit of a foe. Okay, I believe that the miniature is slowly changing color. I can finally see some difference. Yeah, maybe here and there I will also have to repaint it with a third layer. But we will see. All librarians draw on the raw power of the warp, but they focus it through specific schools of thought. So the librarian's discipline, this is the core discipline of the Space Marine, containing powers like Smite, a lethal psychic bolt, and Wheel of Time, allowing them to see immediate futures, to act with supernatural swiftness. They also hold some telekinesis. They can use this to create powerful protective fields, deflect incoming projectiles, or crush enemies with pure mental pressure. They are also able to do telepathy, so the ability to influence the minds of others, from implanting mass illusions to shattering the resolve of a foe. Well, obviously some lightning bolts, throwing fireballs and stuff like that, it's all available for librarians. It's just a matter of how they want to bend the forces of the warp, the powers of the warp. psyker begins as a lexicanium, then they progress to codicier, then epistolary, and finally to the mighty chief librarian. The symbol on their shoulder pad denotes their rank. Our model in Terminator Armour, I think is a chief librarian, so definitely a psyker of immense power. And the most powerful librarians, like Chief Librarian Ticurius of the Ultramarines, can use subtle precognitive abilities to step outside of time for a moment, anticipating the enemy's next move or even redirecting incoming bullets. Ticurius is even rumored to have successfully pierced the psychic barrier of the Tyrannid hive mind. There are also some chapter unique lore of the librarians. So for example, for the Blood Angels, their librarians practice the sanguinary discipline, so they constantly fight the deep-seated rage and curse within their own genseed. The most famous chief librarian, Mephiston, Lord of the Dead, survived the black rage and emerged with his psychic powers amplified to impossible levels. He can literally stop time for brief moments. For the Space Wolves, they call their librarians rune priests. They usually claim their powers from their homeworld Fenris and from the spirits of Fenris, but also from the warp weaving rules of ice, lightning and storm. They are an ancient unique tradition maintained in defiance of the Codex Astartes. For the Dark Angels, their librarians hold a special grim duty. They watch over the dungeons of the Rock, their fortress monastery, and use their psychic powers to help the interrogator chaplains extract confessions from the fallen by breaking down the mental barriers and searching for the truth. guys, I think we are more or less complete here with applying the second layer. And yeah, actually I can finally see some difference if you look at the bottom of the miniature on the on this part here. You see that the ultramarine blue is actually much, yeah, or maybe a bit lighter than the Cantor blue. So the Cantor blue is a bit, you know, more sort of darker blue, more, I would say, mystic or something like that, which I think also applies to librarians. I think one part that we are missing is this, the other part of the axe. So let me quickly try to fix that. Okay guys, so we are pretty much done with applying the second layer to this librarian. I can actually see the difference finally between the ultramarine blue and the Cantor blue. So on the base you can see the ultramarine color, it's actually a bit lighter than the Cantor blue on the miniature. And yeah, also here on the back, this back here, also still in the ultramarine blue, and the bolter pistol also stands out a little bit. So yeah, this Cantor blue color is a little bit darker, a little bit more mysterious. So yeah. I think that will be it for now. We have applied the base layers, and then in the next episode we will focus on the details, so the armor parts. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and also subscribe to my channel. So it can grow. It's thanks to you, and obviously thanks for all of the likes, your comments, and all of the subscriptions that you already done. That's really appreciated and helps to grow this channel. So yeah, that will be it, and remember,